On this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast, demonic luchador, killer kitty. What do these two things have in common?
And I'm going to teach you to talk to the animals. Well, those who will let you. All right, let's do this.
Welcome to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. I'm Diana.
I'm Elizabeth.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I just saw that today on a thing, which was a scissors that were shaped like bats. They came from the same company that Diana once gave me a wine opener that had the bat on it, but I don't remember if that said Elizabeth or not on it. I don't think it did because I think we would have noticed that. Yeah. But yeah, so the company is now advertising it as Elizabeth, and I am here for it, and that is a new name.
Or we did, and we just both forgot, which is also plausible.
Which is awesome, but I don't remember a lot of things.
Like we got very excited, and then we completely forgot. Yeah.
Because it's a wine opener. So, and every time I was excited to use it, I was also drinking wine. So,
yes.
Right now I'm drinking wine that I stole from the people who lived here before. But I think it's like wine karma.
Stole. It was delivered to you.
Yeah. So the people who lived in my old house had their wine delivery guy, like FedEx, come here 3 times and finally caught me. And now I have a doorbell camera so I can yell at people when they're at the other house if I want to and be like, hey, come over here. Because I had a guy, you know, if it's been a while since you had a security system put in, like things are different. And well, I just thought because so in my last house, I had I've used Simply Safe for like the last like few years, just because that's a very easy thing to do when you're a renter. You can just throw that up, throw a keypad on, and you just put the little sensors on the windows, and you're good to go. And when I bought this house, they had ADT touch pads everywhere. And like when you open all the doors, it goes, Yep. So I was like, I'll just call the company and have them like switched over. It'll be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And, you know, so I call and they're like, oh yeah, we'll send a technician out and we'll make, you know, we'll make the appointments all the same and we'll let them know. And of course, like I get a phone call from him being like, why do I have 2 appointments? And I'm like, well, you know, there's 2 houses in Union. And I did not warn him about the GPS because I figured he was like a security dude and they like probably like did like these neighborhoods all the time and learned like not to trust GPS on shit. But that's not what happened. And I got a call from him because a GPS had led him to the private road that runs next to my house that does have a gate on it. And it's a traffic area, which I'm still not sure where it goes. And so the guy followed somebody in through the gate and then got stuck. And he was stuck on the other side of the gate and he could not get out because you could not get out of that gate without either a code or something. So I think he was back there for like a good 30 minutes. And so, you know, he finally gets to the house and we go through things and what they end up doing is they put those little sticky things like they do for Simply Safe. That's just what they do now. Like, they didn't go through any of the other wiring that's there. And they replaced the control panels. They are now just the touch screens that are wired into my Wi-Fi. So if Wi-Fi goes out, your security is fucked, you know, and it's just one more thing that gets, like, dropped onto your network. And I'm like, oh, great, So now I have to go and reconfigure a network because now they just added like 500 different endpoints on here. And now I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't like have a separate like.
It wasn't part of your network mapping?
No, it was not. So now I had to go remap my network, much like, you know, they did on the show last week, you know, because this has been a week since we last recorded this.
Full week.
And so that's what I've done in the past full week was get my Get my, and also the people on the phone had told me they could reuse the cameras that were in this house, and you could not. So, and he also, when he took down like the cameras that were there, there's some ugly spaces on the wall, which I'm gonna have to deal with. But yeah, now I have to use fucking Google too, which I'm not a fan of. But yeah, I've got Google doorbells, and I've got a Google camera, and a lot of bugs fly by that camera. I'm finding out.
Alert you all the time.
There's motion in the driveway. Oh, it's a big bug. Big bug. But I also got a camera for the animals I'm going to put out too. So, because
that's your hunter camera.
My hunter camera. And that one has night vision on it, and it will go in the back, and it will capture pictures of all my little animals, friends, hopefully. And, maybe a chupacabra. Let's go.
Maybe
a chupacabra. So yeah, and now I'm getting ready to jaunt to England for a week or so and go have some punk rock sing-alongs, and then go to some absurd bookstores. When they have whole sections that are like dedicated to things that I'm researching and studying, I know like I'm in trouble.
Yeah. I know you're in trouble. You're going to get lost in one of those stores. We'll have to do a welfare check at a bookstore.
Probably. But I'm planning on, I'm going to the festival, but I'm going to have a day in London first. I'm not going to go to any of the bookstores until after the festival. Because I will also be getting books at the festival, because PM Press will be there. And that's a really good anarchist book people that I like. And they always bring really good books. And so I know I'm going to be buying books at the fucking festival. And, and then there's also like thrift stores and things there. And there's a spiritualist church there. So they probably have some shit that I'm going to get. And so I'm already going to have a bunch of books on the train. I just don't need that to be hauling around.
Books are heavy.
And so my shoulders are all jacked. And I'm swole. To carry around like 1,000 pounds worth of books in airports.
Yeah. What was that album? Bricks Are Heavy?
That seems like a very obvious statement, though. Bricks are heavy.
That was like L7's big album.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. They're not playing this festival.
I was just like, books are heavy, and you're going to a punk rock festival, and I was like, oh, bricks are heavy. There we go. All right, they need to call.
They played the last festival I went to. They're not playing this festival.
Yeah.
So what about you?
I have no excitement. I have nothing. Got nothing. I got family visiting. I apparently figured out how to bust a blood vessel in my eyeball, so I can camouflage it pretty well. But part of my eyeball looks like a bloody gross. And
see, I think you just embrace that shit and you just become like horror goth queen. Maybe like put like a red contact in the other one, or put an eye patch on. This could be the time for the Dolly Parton's like bedazzled eye patch.
Bedazzled eye patch.
I mean, they can be rock and rolling pretty hot.
I paid a lot of money to laser my eyeballs to not have astigmatism anymore. I don't want to have depth perception issues. But
it's just a fashion statement.
I know. I just, anyways, so I'm just cranky about it. But yeah, that's about it. Nothing crazy. We, as you mentioned, there will be some travel in the future. So after this week, we will be taking a week off, or maybe not off. We'll be late. Like episode after this will be late.
We'll be like 3 or 4 days late. Spend some time. Go back, look through the archives on YouTube. There's some fun stuff there.
And you can get ready to see us, because we will be in Austin for the con. So.
Yeah, for the Austin Con. We got outbid on our tickets for meet and greet with DJ, but we'll be at the karaoke, so hopefully we'll see him there. There is opportunities. I know there was him and Samantha Smith were doing some you could do selfies with them at the Roadhouse. The Roadhouse looks like a fun thing we may want to do. We haven't done that before. So they have this room called the Roadhouse, and they've got a photo booth in there, and they've got all sorts of activities. It's supposed to be a place to chill out and hang out. It costs $25 or something. I don't know. If we get really bored, that could be a thing to do. But so very excited about that. Jensen and Ackles, Jensen and Jared are going to be there, as will Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Misha, and then most of the chicks and Felicia Day. So it's going to be a really fun con, I think. So I'm excited about it. And they're doing a ton of different things around Austin. If you've never been here and want to come down and do it, they're doing tours of the Walker spots. So all the places where they shot Walker, Texas Ranger, you can go do a tour of that. They're doing a barbecue night with Jensen and his band. Jensen and his band are playing 2 sold out shows at Sagebrush that are dumb expensive. And so there's a ton of stuff that's going on this week. Just like it's just gonna be a supernatural party. So come to Austin, have a good time.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. And we won't have a booth or anything. We'll just
be hanging. You'll find
us. You'll see us. We're loud. All right. So we're going to talk about this episode.
Yeah, season 9, episode 5, Dog Dean Afternoon.
It is a Dog Dean Afternoon, and I'm so glad you said that, because normally I have that on the top of my page, and that line got cut off. So I would have been like, what the hell is this episode called? It first aired November 5th, 2013, and was directed by Tim Andrew, who we last saw on season 8's episode 6, Southern Comfort, and written by the dynamic duo of Eric Carmelo and Nicole Snyder. We haven't seen them since season 6, but back then they did, the You Can't Handle the Truth, Mannequin 3, The Reckoning, and My Heart Will Go On. So some of the fun episodes of season 6. So that, I think, is why we kind of get this recap, which I can just sum up with, we are insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. It's so good. It starts off, the little recap starts like, oh, they're talking about Sam's hurt, and Dean does his prayer, and Zeke shows up. And then it goes to pure chaos with it was a really amazing montage. It ends with, like you said, we're insane. Yes. Yes, they are.
Yep. And then we open...
a taxidermist. And his shop is amazing.
It is amazing. And he is making Game of Thrones taxidermy, which is also fucking amazing. It's so cute. He has a little outfit for them.
And it's a carryover from the last episode where they were having a Game of Thrones marathon at their slumber party.
It is. It's just, what this homage to Game of Thrones is. But I also, I will honestly say that I was going down a weird taxidermy rabbit hole that had nothing to do with this episode earlier this week. Really? I just happened to spend a lot of time looking at weird taxidermy often.
When I saw the episode, I'm like, oh, that's why she was sending me that. Because you definitely sent me pictures of weird taxidermy this week.
No, I was looking for, where I bought Priscilla the taxidermy chicken. Yeah. So I was explaining Priscilla to a friend. And also in the shop, though, with Priscilla, they had these taxidermied rabbits with crystal balls, and I can't find them anywhere. So I was looking for them. And then naturally, while you're looking for that, there's just so much. You can spend days on Etsy just going through taxidermy, because people do some fun things with their dead animals.
They do.
Lots of frogs, those stripper poles. Yeah. Yep. So beyond our amazingness, there's also a good little boy named Colonel. He's
a good doggo, and he looks kind of like a German Shepherd type dog, or Malamute.
I am definitely German Shepherd is what I peg him as.
Well, they look a lot like Malamutes, but yeah, I think it's German Shepherd for this one. But anyways, and they hear a noise. He's got a shotgun because he's a taxidermist. Of course, he has a fucking shotgun, and he doesn't hear anything. And I love that he gets startled by his own taxidermy bear.
I would do that all the time.
Yes, absolutely. But the dog is very distraught, and there's a cowboy with a forked tongue standing behind the fucking taxidermy dude.
It's not good. I don't like it. I do not like it. And then he breaks his spine, and we're also disturbed. So disturbed.
Yeah. And the doggy's sad. So back in the bunker, Sam and Dean are talking. Dean apparently has been pouring buffalo milk down Kevin's throat because he's hung over.
He has a Branson hangover. So one, does this mean imply that Kevin is at the bunker and we're just not seeing him? Okay.
Yes.
So also buffalo milk. Apparently this is a hair of the dog style hangover cure, which is a mixture of cocoa cream, vodka, spiced rum, clotted cream, cream liqueur, dark rum, and whole cream.
Oh no.
That's a lot of cream.
And booze.
Like for a hangover.
Milk booze.
Yeah, that I don't know. I don't think that would work. So
I was wondering. I'm glad you had that because Dean's like, yeah, it has everything in it but buffalo milk.
Yeah, so that's what it is. I've never heard of it. That also sounds like an ass whip to make. But he also says that he was doing what kind of nipple shot? Some sort of nipple shot.
Buttery nipple shots at the Dolly Parton Dixie Stampede.
Okay, so that is a dinner show, which I do need to go to. There is both one in the Pigeon Forge at Dollywood, and so there's a Dolly Parton Dixie Stampede in Pigeon Forge and in Branson. And right now, the Pigeon Forge show does have a butterfly show, and so the horses get fucking butterfly wings on. They're just going around, and that's really cute. In Branson right now, there is a rumble in the treetops, which I think is a lumberjack competition. They also have amazing aerial performances. So they're equestrian stars and incredible aerial acrobats. They also you can enjoy a 4-course meal at Dolly Parton Stampede dinner attraction. And it is the #1 dinner attraction in the world. Apparently it is bigger. It has more people who go to it than Medieval Times. But I will tell you, it sounds a lot like Medieval Times, but with cowboy stuff. So this is what the feast set has. All right. So it's got creamy vegetable soup, a hot buttery biscuit, a tender whole rotisserie chicken, hickory smoked pulled pork, buttery corn in the cob, herb roasted potatoes, a Stampede signature dessert, and unlimited Coca-Cola tea or coffee.
That's
very similar to the Medieval Times menu. You can get the vegetarian feast, where instead of the chicken and the pork, you can get some fire roasted veggies with quinoa and some multigrain rice, which sounds pretty healthy. And to get a hot, flaky apple turnover, you can get the option of additional creamy vegetable soup, but the soup is made with chicken broth. And then they also have like a whole version for a gluten-free feast. Like it's just they're just covering all the bases there.
Accommodating.
So yeah, this is definitely on my bucket list now to go see the dinner show at one of these places.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indeed.
See what I did there? See what I did?
You did.
Yeah. So Sam's excited though because he found a case, and we get this exchange because obviously Dean does not trust that Sam is well enough to go do a case because it's Sam Ezekiel still trying to heal. Whereas Sam's like, the fuck are you talking about? I feel fine.
But should that affect Sam? I don't know. I do not know how the physics of this work because Sam looks fucking fine.
He seems fine. He got 3 nights in a row of 8 hours of sleep. Must be nice, motherfucker. Just kidding.
It sounds so good. Like I took I don't even have a job right now, and I'm still so goddamn tired. I took a nap today.
Well, that they have found this taxidermist has been crushed to death, every joint dislocated, and all of his bones broken. And I like that Dean's suggestion is that it could be a demonic luchador.
That is the name of my next sex tape.
So they're going to go to Eden, Oklahoma to investigate at Mounted Treasures Taxidermy, where someone has written "Die Scum" on the door in bright red paint with a little paw print symbol in it.
A little paw print in it. And we get to actually see the taxidermy shop in the daytime. And is that a wall of jackalopes?
I believe it may have been.
I'm pretty sure there was a wall of jackalopes on there, which is amazing.
It is. And I like that they introduce themselves as Agents Michaels and DeVille, which is a reference to Poison.
Yes. Bret Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I miss his show. I wish that would come back.
Which
that was
one?
a good
the
reality
love
show.
One?
Yeah, the one, like, that was, I think, like the peak of reality competition dating shows was Bret Michaels' Rock of Love.
It was a good one.
Yeah, and some of those women went on to do good things.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this is a very accommodating sheriff. Like, he's really he loves the Phoebes.
He's like, yeah, the body's gone, but here's the witness. We'll show you around. No big. And so Sam gets to go poke around where he finds a rodent in a dress and is very excited. And Dean talks to Dave Stevens, who was there to pick up the entrails twice a week. That was his job. Picked up the entrails because they had to be picked up and then they were biohazard and then they had to burn.
Do you think he was getting paid to do what?
To pick up the entrails and burn them?
I guess. They just never really like
biohazard disposal.
They just never said what he did with them. They just said he came to get them.
Oh no, he said that the reason that
no, he said the reason that
Max didn't handle
that he couldn't do it was that they couldn't be just disposed of.
This is true.
But he never said what he did with them.
That's true. Fair, very fair. But he said, but they point out that nothing else is missing from the shop. Yeah, and even the colonel was there, so the colonel witnessed. And Sam and Dean are like, well, we didn't find a fucking hex bag. Dean's creeped the fuck out, so they're going to go back to the motel.
Yes, and now they go to Diamond Tim's.
Yeah, Diamond Tim's Motor Inn, which is almost super cool, but it's like so on the edge of being like awful.
Yeah.
It's like it could almost be. But Sam's researching this paw print symbol and figures out that it is copyrighted by a local animal rights group called SNART.
I love you, SNART. And SNART stands for Showing No Animal Rough Treatment, which is, I mean, I'm all for that. Let's not show animals rough treatment. That's all great. But, you know, like, and Dean's just like, why would animal rights groups care about dead animals?
They're already dead. What's his take? I do feel like this just made me think of Spew.
It is. It's very much like Spew.
So, there's your Harry Potter guys. All right. So they're going to go and check out the Gentle Earth Vegan Bakery.
And, you know, like, are they witches or hippies is what, you know, we have to figure out.
Yeah.
And Dean's just like, what's the difference?
And when they get to this bakery, he's like, I knew I'd find the source of evil in a vegan bakery. And Sam wants to know what that smell is. Dean promptly tells him it's patchouli mixed with depression from meat deprivation.
Yep. So now we see inside of this bakery, and frankly, you know, vegan bakeries are actually really good because you just don't. They're just a lot. You can do a lot of things with if you know what you're doing, but. You know, there was a Skull and Cake Bones in Jermaine's Austin. Like, it's freaking amazing. They're all gluten free and their little ding dong things are ding dong addictive. So now we see the inside, you know, the founders of SNART, which we also know, like, they cannot be that smart. And the SNART people aren't that smart because, you know, they left their. You know, this isn't Sekov. So obviously, you know, you're doing vandalism to show who, like, you are, and your logo is everywhere. So why aren't these nice little sheriffs here already? Like, why are these people not already in custody? Because, I mean, the paw print, I'm sure that they were like, oh, God damn it, whatever, Olivia. Like, it's a small town. They know where Olivia and Dylan are, and that they are SNART. So why are they not, like, already like, okay, let me get a muffin and arrest you? Like,
yeah. Well, I do have to tell you that I had to pause, rewind, and make Babe listen to this exchange briefly because I do have a pet peeve of dear Babe wearing his sunglasses when we go somewhere sometimes. And so I made him listen to it because Olivia and Dylan, our SNART founders behind the counter that also run this bakery, are both wearing their sunglasses inside. And Dean comments that the two types of people that wear sunglasses inside are blind people and douchebags.
And rock stars.
Oh, yeah. But so they are going to go, they go talk to Olivia and Dylan, and they're like, oh, yeah, hunters are terrible. They're selfish dicks defined by what they kill. And Olivia's like, yeah, you know, we're animal advocates, but we don't advocate for violence. we were just trying to scare him when we graffitied his building, but we got spooked while we were painting. We heard this hiss, and when we ran, we got maced, and we couldn't go to the cops because we were in the middle of committing a crime. So now we look like total douchebags.
Yeah. And, again, a few things here. When they lift off their sunglasses, it's clear this is not... Yeah. This is not mace. This is not what happens when you get mace. No. That's not, no, honey. Mm-mm. No, that's something worse.
Way worse. It looks way worse.
Yeah.
It's real gross. I just said gross eyes.
Maybe this is what your eye was like in trying to do some solidarity here. I don't know. But we also start to see this line of hunters, where we were talking about animal hunting, but now Dean and Sam type of hunter is starting to run parallel, right? So it's this very kind of funny thing. So when they're like hunters are selfish dicks, but they're like, what? Yeah.
So they go back to the motel so Sam can do more research, and he's on a website about black eyes. But somehow it finds something about necrosis and whatever's wrong with Olivia and Dylan could have been a venom.
Yeah, and so we learned that thankfully no snake does both venom and constricting as their things. Thankfully, right. That doesn't exist yet. Florida, I'm sure, we'll figure this out soon. But at this time, there is no snake that can both venom you and you. However, you snakes will also their bites can be very painful.
They bite. They just don't
and
have
they're
any
just not
poison.
Venomous. And they can also get infected because even though it's not venomous, it's still a snake mouth. And they don't brush their teeth, and they eat mice and shit. So, you're still getting all the bacteria from the puncture.
Yeah, and puncture wounds just are highly likely to get infected.
They're just gross. And, I'm trying very hard to not develop a massive fear of snakes, but it's hard. It's hard.
So they call Kevin to research more about snakes?
Why
or what this could be.
This? Why have they decided Kevin is their librarian? He's
Why not?
trying to look at the prop. But I guess also he's at the bunker now. So but didn't they just put all their shit on a tablet? Shouldn't they just be accessed?
It's all downloaded that Microsoft Surface. They should just be carrying it around.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, well, we cut back to our Enid animal shelter. And our staffer is sitting at the desk playing on his phone.
Yeah, that word game looks very satisfying. I would like to know what it is. That looks like a very good way to kill time.
Our cowboy snake dude, as I called him so eloquently.
I also just refer to him as snake dude. It's fine.
Strolls in and slides $100 bill on the counter and just walks on towards the kennel with his carrying a big bag.
Ew.
And
whatever is happening,
it's not good.
Fuck
I don't
you.
like it.
Whatever.
I don't like it.
No.
And so he walks by all the dogs. We do see the colonel's there, which is sad that he's in there.
And he's whining. He's whimpering.
And they go to the cats.
What are you doing with the cats, you bastard? What are you doing with the cats?
Loading the kitties into a bag.
Mm.
But as he keeps just piling all these cats in this big old bag, the kid at the counter hears these cats meowing very angrily.
They're yowling.
So he runs in, and Cowboy Snake Dude is full on swallowing a whole cat.
He's eating them.
He ate it. And the kid's like, I thought you were from a perfume company.
What? So you were just selling, letting this dude from an animal testing company come in and take that was better? Fuck you. You so have what's coming to you. And then you see the guy's face.
And we get a close-up of super creepy snake eyes.
Snake eyes.
They're cat eyes. Snake eye, cat eyes.
They're snake eyes, cat eyes, snake eyes, cat eyes. What are they? I don't know.
But now he's got claws.
This kitty's got claws.
And this kid gets killed by the claws.
He does. That fucktard is dead. I am not sad. I'm sad about the cat. I am much more upset about the cat than the fucking bastard that was selling cats to an animal testing. So, so next up, the boys show up, and now they think it is a killer kitty, which is also the name of my next sex tape.
We're getting a list tonight of those.
We are. There's a whole new series coming out.
So, they realize though that Colonel has now been at both crimes. And so they have to test to make sure he's not a skinwalker.
Or a shapeshifter.
But what he notices is that Colonel's starts barking when the cop walks up, and the cop's wearing a cowboy hat.
The hat is a clue.
The hat is a clue. So Dean's like, hold on. And he borrows the hat. And then when he takes the hat off the guy, the dog stops barking. And then when Dean puts on the hat, he starts barking again. So the dog hates cowboy hats. That's what we learned.
Yes. And so this is also just a game that I would continue to play. I would be like, okay, now we've got to try other hats. Is it just a cowboy hat? Okay, I need a baseball hat. I need a beret. I need like a beanie. Like we have to go through all these things.
See which ones are triggering? Well, the dog is now not a suspect, but a witness. So they need to call Kevin again to figure out how they can talk to a dog.
So, yeah. And now we go to the hotel. The motel. Motel, Holiday Inn. And they're doing a spell that they found in the Eskimo section of the Men of Letters.
Mm-hmm. An Inuit spell, right? And it's like a human-animal mind meld. They can read each other's thoughts.
So, yeah, and this sounds great because I think we all want to be able to talk to our animals, right? Don't you want to talk to your animals? All right, so I'm going to teach you how to talk to your animals because I can find anything on the internet. So, you ready? Okay, this is how to talk to animals. Psychic connections and telepathy. And this is on Pet Helpful, and was written by Susie Rave. It was updated April 10th of 2023. So I think this is very up to date information. She does get asked if anybody can talk to animals, and she said that she has been blessed with the ability to communicate with animals since she was a child. And she says that anybody can do this, and the key is patience and love. So the first thing that you should do if you want to learn is you should start with an animal you are familiar with. So don't go for strange. You want to get a family pet, right? Okay. So a cat or a dog that you are familiar are your best choices. Cats are more difficult because they are cats. So how to communicate with dogs. 1, you got to start by taking your pupper into a quiet room. 2, sit down on the floor next to them. Or if they are allowed on the couch or the bed, that lucky little animal, you have them sit next to you. 3, you pet them in their favorite spot until they're settled in. Then you talk quietly to them in a loving tone. 4, you find one short sentence or word and you use it over and over. Examples that they do: there you go, sweetie. There you go, sweetie. There you go, sweetie. And then says, or if you're a guy and this is to she, foo for you, try, okay, buddy. So, you need what they say is, we'll call this your key phrase. So, okay, so we're just going to say, we're going to use Albus, who's Diana's magical dog, who will win the cutest rescue dog contest, I swear. So what would your key phrase for Albus be?
Oh, God, I don't know. What do I say to him? I was like, there's the baby. That's what I do. There's the baby.
Oh
it's
dear.
Bad.
Okay.
It's bad.
All right. So Diana is going to say,
there's the baby.
10 times in a rhythmic ways, and then close your eyes and be silent.
Or baby Albus. That's probably better. We'll do baby Albus.
Baby Albus, baby Albus, baby Albus, baby Albus, baby Albus. 4 more times. I don't want to communicate. I don't want to say it 10 times because what if I accidentally like mind meld with Albus from here, and then we have like it'll be a thing. All right,
things get weird.
All right, and don't forget now. Number 6, it says to stop petting your dog. All right, now you got to stop. All right, so you've said your key phrase 10 times. You've closed your eyes and you're quiet. You've stopped petting them, and you got to start thinking about what you want your dog to do, along with a picture of you rubbing their favorite spot afterwards. When the picture is formed and clear, you may have to practice this a bit if you've never done visualization before. We taught you on the show. Go back. There's many episodes. Then you imagine the picture enveloped in a fluffy white cloud. I don't know why. So you float the cloud this is why. So number 9, you float the cloud picture out of your head where your third eye is located. So wherever your third eye is located, it could be your nose, your forehead, your cheek. We all I don't know. It doesn't say. So, and then you put that thought, into the dog's head directly between their eyes. So I guess they don't have a third eye in their forehead. You go right between their eyes. And then once you have done this, then you say the key phrase again one more time, and then you float that cloud picture into their head. And you keep doing this until he or she either gets up and leaves or puts their head onto your lap. Congratulations, you have spoken to your dog.
Huh.
So I think you've got this, right? You can now talk to your dog. All right. So a word about neutered dogs. They say if you're working with a particularly territorial non-neutered male, he just might get up and leave. If he does, follow him and do it all over again. Usually, the neutered males and females will want to happily succumb to the visualized and promised favorite rub, so they will lay their heads on your lap. I don't think they said that that's what you're supposed to be trying to do with them, is to try and get their head into your lap, but I guess that's your goal. Is that right. I don't know why.
I guess that's step 1 to tell them that, but my dog does that sometimes, but not really. Kind of more.
I mean, I guess I would say paw more. I would try paw. I would think that would be a different, more difficult
more
thing.
Distinct, yeah.
Yeah, but also if you've snipped their balls, they don't trust you, and you have to follow them around and then keep telling them stuff. Apparently, is what they said. Huh. All right, number 3. Let's move on to cats. Leaving the cat lover versus dog lover discussion completely out of this, she says that cats are a smidge more stubborn of an animal. If you feel like they're receiving your picture talk, they will. And if they don't, they're not going to do it. So it's okay. In order to be successful, we need to tread lightly. Dogs will listen and tune in simply for love. Cats, not so much. You need to give them a better incentive. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, you start again with your key phrase and their favorite tone of voice you would use when putting down their full food dish. Try something like honey boy, or again, for the non-shishu foo-foo types, yo dude, while scratching their chin or ears or favorite spot. I do not believe any of these will work with my cat. I'm just saying. So after the 5th time, because cats get bored quickly with a key phrase, you stop, you spot scratch, you stop petting, and then you start doing the picture. With cats, a strong but quick picture quickly comes across best. Don't ask them to do anything. Just send a love picture at first, a visualization of you feeding them. It works well if you do this right before you're actually planning on feeding them.
That seems mean otherwise.
So picture your cat feeding them. Tell your cat you're going to feed them with your mind, and then you feed them. And then their cat gets food. So every time you look at your cat, they're going to go, "Are you going to feed me, bitch?"
And you can't say that phrase anymore.
Yeah. And she says her cat, Cheetah, will usually snap his head up and head to his dish right away after telling him it's coming. And then she says, if you were saying to yourself right now, well, sure, if you do it right before his scheduled feeding time, of course he's going to run to the dish. You're absolutely right. This is my point. He will use the fact that you're telling him good stuff is coming at the time it comes. Then later you can float a picture of him right out of the blue, something different, and they will understand you.
Huh.
So I like that they think that I can dictate when my cat's feeding time is. I do not, like, that's not a choice I have. That is when she wakes up.
Some people do it on a schedule.
Yeah, my schedule is whenever she wakes up in the morning and bats me out of fucking bed. And she goes, meow, meow, until I fucking feed her. That's when she gets fed. Okay, so communicating with smaller animals, avians, reptiles, and more. So let's talk parrot or turkey or parrot or cockatiel or budgie. What's a budgie?
I think it's another bird in that kind of...
All right. So when talking to a smaller animal, you need to remember that the animal has a smaller brain. Their reception of pictures is apt to be slower and take longer. It is like using, a modem versus fiber. So it's going to take longer for your packets to get to the cat's brain. This is very much like sending things over the internet. Okay. If the animal is a pet, again, they should be used to the sound of your voice. You really shouldn't be talking to an animal of this size right away if they are not a pet of yours. You've got to warm them up, I guess. Get them a drink or something. Oh. So lastly, remember the patience. Once you have mastered the family pet chat, the others will follow. So if the iguana, lizard, bird, etc. is your pet, great. If not, remember they require a bit more finesse. Oh, she has an iguana, and my iguana loves me to sing Desperado to him in a quiet, sweet voice. Go figure. Please put a cowboy hat on this iguana as you sing Desperado. That is the only way that is okay, and I will not report you to snark. So if they don't respond to a key phrase, and a lot of these species won't, you need to find a sound. You could use a quiet ch-ch-ch-ch. Oh wait, so you're like fucking like Michael Myers coming after them? Or you could do a gentle sh-sh-sh-sh sound. I guess like animal ASMR. So she says that yeah, she says that works best for reptiles and cold-blooded animals, and the works best for birds, tortoises, turtles, frogs, and so on. If the animal doesn't wish to be touched, just stick to the soft sound. So you got to make it a rhythmic sound, and then you get them accustomed to it. Then you get a picture. So, for example, she also has a cockatiel. Good Lord. So, example, when I want my cockatiel to fly into my finger, I picture him on my finger and eating his munchie, all in one quick, precise shot. When I want my iguana to climb onto my arm, I picture him on my arm with a strawberry in his mouth. As do I. For these creatures, forget the fluff and cloud. And a cowboy hat. Maybe sunglasses now. He's a douchebag. So just aim the visualization at their head and fire. Remember, practice makes perfect. Oh, there's a picture of her with a snake, and it looks like a huggy one. And
huggy one, not a
one. So she says once you've worked on your pets for about 6 months, you should be able to branch out. If your pet gets injured or seems down, you can ask them what hurts or why they're acting that way. Questions can be formed in the same way. You just need to send a picture of the animal exactly as it is and show it each part of its body until the animal gives you a positive sign. It may lick you, it may squirm, it may purr, it may just get up and walk away. So, yeah. And then it also says that you can send pictures of the animal feeling better. You can send love. Love requires no visualizations and no pictures. You can simply send a calming, gentle feeling of peace. They can do wonders. She's got a horse that shows her that she wants apples. You don't have to be psychic. Everyone has psychic potential. Oh, and now somebody wants to know if they can talk to a cow. Oh, she did talk to a cow. Okay,
no,
great.
I don't want to talk to a cow.
I mean, you may need to talk to a cow. There is like that bull that was on the beach that was like running after people, and you should be like, bull. No. It'll work. So anyways, that's how you talk to a pet. That's exactly what Jean is going to do, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Sam makes this concoction, and Dean's like, no, I'm going to do it because you're still recovering. And Sam's like, okay, whatever. And so Dean chugs it, trying not to gag, and does the incantation. And he looks at Colonel, and nothing happens. But they go get burgers and dinner like you do, and they finish eating, and they're calling Kevin, and they're like, the spell tasted like ass and was a bust. So, we've got I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner playing in the background.
I want you to show me.
And Colonel suddenly
show me with with a fluffy cloud aimed at my head.
Colonel says, change the station. And starts talking shit about Styx.
Because Styx sucks. And yeah. So, Mr. Roboto.
But so, and Dean is like, what the fuck? And he starts asking about the killer. And he's like, he had on a cowboy hat. He is the same guy who did both murders. And
he says the douche wheel killed his best friend. And I just think that's adorable. And he's just like, he killed my best friend.
Yeah, that's sad. I didn't like that part.
I know.
And Colonel said they didn't get to see what happened to the cats, but the guy reeked of red meat, dishwashing detergent, and tiger balm. So Dean, while this conversation's going on, Dean keeps like catching and throwing back, or picking up and throwing back this balled up napkin that Sam's been trying to throw in the trash, and starts scratching behind his ear. Colonel's laughing, and we get a mailman outside. Colonel starts barking. Dean runs to the window and starts yelling at the mailman and just keeps saying, you.
Hey, you. Hey, you. You.
Over and over again, like a bark.
Hey, you. Which is exactly what now with all. Yes, it's hysterical what all dogs say when they see a mailman. And so they're together, they're just both at the window, and it's so cute.
It is.
So cute. Dean, you're such a cute little dog.
He is a cute little doggo. And Sam has realized that the spell worked maybe too well.
Dean is a dog.
So they call Kevin, and basically it's this potential spell side effect. The mind meld with the animal is you can exhibit their behavior. And Colonel's telling Dean, like, hey, don't blame me. And they have an exchange about sniffing butts, because Dean does not think that he is inclined to sniff butts, but Colonel thinks it's funny.
At this point, Dean Winchester does not want to sniff butts.
Yes. That's probably an important point to clarify. And Kevin doesn't know how long this is going to last, but it should wear off whenever the spell does. And now Dean's about to eat a chocolate bar and gets reminded that he probably should not if he's having dog traits.
Which is very interesting if that translates all the way to you're now can't eat chocolate or you shit yourself.
Yeah, that's weird. Because,
but also, I wouldn't risk. I may risk. I mean, chocolate's pretty good. But
depends how good a chocolate bar was.
Yeah, I mean, it's chocolate. So now they're going to go back to the animal shelter. But before they do that, Dean hears a pigeon.
Yeah, Colonel has some solid doggy puns going on. But when this pigeon shits on baby's windshield, Dean yells, "Dick move, pigeon!" And the pigeon yells back, "Screw you, asshat!" And basically, the Colonel's like, "Oh yeah, animals have like this universal language. We can all like talk." And there's some shit talking between a pigeon.
Animals have a universal language, and they can all talk to each other. And goddamn, I wish that was real, and that I could listen to all the animals talk to each other. Maybe if I just do enough drugs.
Or you just really, really work on your cloud.
I really have to work.
Projection.
I don't.
Okay. Well, either way, they get in a shit-talking exchange. This pigeon has Dean real riled up. So riled up, he pulls a fucking gun, and people in the parking lot are scared.
Yeah, because all they do is see this crazy man yelling at a pigeon and pulling out his gun. Yeah. What are you in Texas? They are in Oklahoma. Honestly, they're in Oklahoma. Everyone's just like, whatever. It's Sunday. What do you know?
So Sam is driving so that Dean and Colonel can both hang their head out the window of the car as they drive back to the shelter. And Sam's like, "Yeah, we'll just leave Colonel in the car." And Dean is pissed at this suggestion.
He adamantly defends Colonel not staying in the car. Do you think we like that? Also, don't leave your animals in the car.
But you know what they do like is this white poodle tied
this
up out
is
front.
weird.
It's very weird. I don't
What,
like it.
he's attracted to the dog? I don't... okay. Weird. I'm glad like he didn't say a dog for long. So anyways, but apparently poodles are attractive.
Sure. So inside, Dean is going to question the animals. And we kick off with the senior Sheltie that has cataracts.
Oh, she's so sad. No one's going to adopt her because she's 14.
I know. It's very sad. I didn't like it.
No.
But she didn't really see anything because of her cataracts. And we hear all the other dogs asking for things. They want their cage to be cleaned more than once a day, which honestly, that once a day seems quite reasonable. But they want biscuits, and they want other things, and then
I don't know. Like they're going.
It depends.
It depends on if they have someplace else to go do their business. So they're doing their business once a day. That's gross. Because then they're all doing it at different times, and that whole place smells. I also got fired from an animal shelter because they couldn't clean the cages well enough. So, anyways, so we now see that there is a Yorkie, and that Yorkie saw everything.
Yep. But she isn't going to talk unless she gets belly rubs from the big one, aka Sam. So we've got Sam holding this Yorkie, giving belly rubs, while the Yorkie describes our cowboy snake dude's outfit, talks about the burlap sack that he's putting the cats in, and how he took all but the one that he ate, and then the sack had writing on it. And then Sam gets a hand cramp from belly rubs and has to take a break, and then continues because apparently our Yorkie is also able to read, and said that it read avant-garde cuisine.
Yeah,
and
that's a place on Main Street, and they don't allow dogs there.
Correct. So as they're getting ready to leave, our little Yorkie is going on and on about how that was the best belly rub they ever had. And Dean pauses for a minute as they're leaving. And then he just starts going down the road.
But beyond getting the belly rub, he also wants to go with them, and he's not above licking feet. Okay, now go on.
So he starts opening the cages and yells, "Freedom!" And I don't think that's a good idea.
One of the dogs yells freedom. Dean doesn't yell freedom.
Oh, okay.
But all the animals are set free.
Yeah.
It's fine. Theory. They're all going to go live their best lives. So all the animals are free, and they're going to go live their best lives. And so it's night now.
Yeah, and then so Sam and Dean are going to break into Avant-Garde because apparently they're closed on Mondays. Anyways,
all restaurants are closed on Mondays.
A lot of ones.
It's a service industry thing.
Yeah, like Dean makes a comment. I'm like, yeah, it's not uncommon for
it's pretty normal.
Whatever.
Anyways, okay.
So they break in and they go in, and I don't understand what this room is that they go to. They go down this hallway and they go into this room, and it's like partially an office, partially dry storage, partially kitchen area. There's this giant walk-in door in there, but also it's not the kitchen. Maybe it's
like the chef's experimental kitchen.
I guess.
Where he's doing some real estate. His experiments. I don't know. It's also close to a private, as we later learn, is close to a private dinner. So, I mean, I think this is like a fancy schmancy. It's a fancy schmancy place.
I guess. But we do see a photo of Chef Leo, and this is our snaky cowboy dude.
Leo.
So, but the cowboy hat doesn't necessarily narrow it down because it's, as Dean points out, they're in Oklahoma.
They are in Oklahoma.
So. And Sam finds a drawer full of pills. We've got oxy, tramadol, methadone, all kinds of stuff. But Dean hears children's voices calling for help.
Help us! The chef is trying to eat us! Help us!
It's rats in a cage. So, Dean is, so they tell Dean
that's the name of my next goth album.
What, Rats in a Cage?
Rats in a Cage.
Oh my gosh. So we've got Dean looks in the fridge and he finds owl brains, cheetah liver, and grizzly heart. At the same time, Sam has now located a spell book about shamanism that talks about using animal organs with hoodoo and spices to temporarily gain the power of that animal. Like an owl would equal IQ, cheetah would equal speed, and a bear would equal strength. And Dean asks about the rats, and they say we have collapsible spines.
Did you know that? Yeah, we learned a lot in this episode. So we get that, but we also learned, though, that this chef is just, he wants to, like, you know what? Why can't I mix this shit and make, like, a cool new animal?
Well, it's like when you were a kid and you would draw, like, I don't know, like...
a sharktopus.
Yeah, exactly.
I did not draw those as kids, but now I want to.
Well, like did you ever play that game where you would like fold a piece of paper in half and one person would draw the head and the other person, and you'd flip it over, the other person would draw the body and they didn't know what it was?
Yeah, I have not played that, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, somebody did that. Anyways, that's how you end up with these weird animal combos. So he's got index cards writing down all these combos. But we hear a noise, and because there's a chef in the kitchen prepping for this private dinner. So Dean tells him that we're at the health department. And we get this waiter that walks in with a platter with a giant shark fin in the middle of it. It's quite dramatic looking.
It is. It's very dramatic, and this is a very expensive dinner. I don't know what I would. Well, no, I know what I would do. I would leave because shark fins they are very bad, and I don't want to go off about the whole shark fin black market, but it's a thing anyway. So I would get mad and I would leave. So they were like, "Hey, we are going to shut this down because of health code." Blah 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 blah.
So the chef, this chef and the waiter leave the kitchen, and Sam and Dean are splitting up with guns to go find our dangerous chef, our scary chef. And apparently, dangerous chef ate some chameleon because he has fully blended into this very loud wallpaper. And
which I kind of love this wallpaper, and
it's kind of cool, yeah.
And
it's very like 60s, like it's cool.
Yeah,
shag. So.
It's 60s with fungal stuff, so I do love the fungus. But yeah, he is just like blended. It's very cool. He's just like in the wallpaper, and he like comes out of the wallpaper.
Yeah, but he sneaks up on Sam and just claws his throat. And Sam is about to bleed out from the neck. It is bad. Bad, bad, bad. And as he's falling down, we get Zeke eyes. So we get Sam Ezekiel briefly takes over, heals Sam's throat, and then disappears again. So now Sam is back to Sam, but also doesn't know why his throat's not bleeding anymore, and is very confused.
Yes,
as is the chef. As is the chef.
The chef is also confused, but now intrigued.
Yeah, because he wants to heal like that. He said, "Oh, screw the sharktopus," and is going to attack Sam so he can eat Sam instead.
So if you eat an octopus, do you get to be smartsies, or do you get to shoot ink? You get to be camouflagey? Like, do you get to have a lot of tentacles? Like, there's so many like important things that happens with an octopus.
I don't know. Or do you just get to like move around like you don't have any bones?
Can you like go and then like go into a rock? I don't know. There's so many things. I
like
be an
slip
octopus.
under doors, but also climb walls. I don't know.
This is why I cannot eat the delicious octopus. So the chef is sharpening his knife.
Yeah, because he's going to carve up Sam. But Dean sneaks in, but the chef can smell him because he smells like a dog, apparently. Dean tries to shoot him, but instead hits a jar of fucking bay leaves. That is a giant jar of bay leaves, by the way. And like, it takes me forever to go through bay leaves. It's crazy. And then he chunks a cleaver, which is not your typical throwing knife, I would say. But he does wield it quite well.
And he dodges a bullet, too. Like, he matrixes away from a bullet.
And we get a fight. But the chef, our creepy chef, is quite strong and overtakes Dean and ties him up. And makes a comment about what their mother must have smoked about when she was carrying them, if that's his brother. And about how he's heard that human hearts are supposedly chewy.
But he's going to eat Sam's heart anyway. So that is how he's going to consume Sam. He's going to consume Sam's heart, which I feel like people threaten to do a lot.
Yeah. And Dean's going to talk to him because Dean's got to make time to escape. So we're going to have Dean try to get him to talk a lot now. And he's like, "I know you're sick, not like in the head, but like cancer or something." And he's right. Apparently the chef has stage 4 carcinoma. And I guess dogs can smell that kind of thing.
Right, dogs can smell cancer, and that is why he had a drawer full of narcotics, not just for a fun time.
Yeah. And he's like, so that's why I know that's why you do this, and he's like, yeah, because I was past treatment when I got diagnosed, and I found a shaman, and I got a zoo membership, and that was the closest thing to a temporary cure I've found. But I found that combination therapy works. That's what he calls it when he combines them, is combination therapy, which is ew.
Yeah, it sounds like something some wellness center is trying to sell you.
But basically he's like, and Dean's like, yeah, but what happened? When did you start killing people? What the fuck? And he's like, oh, I didn't mean to at first. It was just collateral. But you eat enough predators, you become one.
You are what you eat. All right, so he goes to his ice chest and he pulls out possum intestines, a mongoose liver, and then finally he gets to a wolf heart. But okay, so he's got these body parts that are in a fridge. He also has these body parts that are in this ice chest. Also, how long do these parts stay fresh for? Like, they're not frozen. These are all fresh. Like, they're not like some. Like, the heart looks like it was in some sort of liquid. But I mean, you don't want to eat it. Like, I mean, you can pickle it. I mean, is he pickling all of these things, and then you get tired of like eating pickled wolf's heart?
It's a lot of vinegar.
It's a lot of vinegar. It's a lot of acid
stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah,
that's a good point. These would not all last. I mean,
and why are some in the ice chest and some in the fridge? I don't
know. His organization skills are lacking.
Yeah, for sure. Also, possum intestines. Why did you go with the intestines?
It's a weird choice.
It's a weird choice. I'd go with a pouch.
Oh, I don't know about that. Make an empanada. No, just kidding.
It's a pocket animal. All right. So Leo starts chanting and snacking.
Yeah. And luckily, Dean has used this conversation time wisely to wear through his cord that he's tied up with, and he's able to free himself and attack. But this wolf, or the chef, now has crazy wolf teeth. Like real crazy wolf teeth. And so Dean's like, fuck this, and runs. And he gets outside the back door real fast. And he's getting chased. But and there's like this whole like, wolf versus dog. And Dean's like, I'm going to call a pack. And so he whistles, and all the dogs they freed came running.
All his friends are there, and they're going to help him, and they're going to eat Leo.
I don't know. That's kind of weird, right?
I don't know. I call my friends. I hope you'll eat somebody who's trying to kill me. Well, so they eat Leo. Oh, and then inside, Dean just starts slapping Sam around and threatening to lick his face.
Yeah, and he wakes up. So we cut. So that's it. At the restaurant. So we cut to our Beacon Bakery, where Dean is giving to Olivia and Dylan to adopt the Colonel. It's very
smart people are taking the Colonel. Aww.
And they agree that they're going to give him a good home. And Colonel tells Dean that he barfed in the backseat of Baby.
Because the road is no life for a dog. He gets carsick.
And Colonel starts to tell Dean that dogs are not really man's best friend. The real reason we're here is to... Woof, woof, woof.
And the spell wears off. Damn it. And now we'll never know. We'll never know why dogs are really put here.
Sad.
Well, then, so now we're done. And now we're just, we say goodbye to Colonel. And outside, though, Sam just can't stop ruminating. I'm just...
Yeah.
Why Leo want to know what I was?
Yeah, that's so weird. And Dean's like, oh, he was just crazy. He was possessed by something he couldn't control. And it was just a matter of time before it completely took over.
Lie tap dancing.
What?
Lie tap
But
dancing.
what is this talking about? This is his own fear about what's going to happen to Sam. What the fuck?
I know. But he's also right when he says you can't reason with crazy. And that's true.
That is true. And, but he's certain that Sam has nothing to worry about. Sam looks very worried.
Yeah, he should be. And so I would be too if all these weird, chunks start going and like being that like, they're them, like I would be concerned. Yeah. So, but they just drive off. They do that.
Yeah, that's it. That's our episode.
All right. So before final thoughts, tell us about our fluffy cast, people.
Casting couch. It's the casting couch. Were they on that show that time with that guy? La 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 la.
Yeah. So we've got our. I'm gonna go a little out of order. No, I'll go in order. Our Yorkie, the voice, was done by the one and only Leslie Jordan.
R.I.P. Leslie. Yeah. I was so like, it was really, really sad when he passed. All right, tell us all the wonderful things Mr. Leslie did.
Well, I did a short list because I assume that people know this wonderful actor, but he was known best. I'd say the longest running role was Beverly Leslie in Will and Grace. Also played
Beverly Leslie. Oh, he was so good in that.
Was Mr. Blackley in The Help. Phil, in most recently in a series called Call Me Kat. He also played roles in American Horror Story and was Benjamin Franklin in The Last Sharknado. So, our chef Leo.
So many Sharknadoes.
There have been a lot of Sharknadoes. Our chef Leo was played by Steve Valentine. He's been in episodes.
What a name! That sounds like a porn actor.
It does. It goes with your theme of your next
my next sex tapes. Yeah. Maybe they will be with Mr. Valentine.
Maybe so. Episodes of Married with Children, Melrose Place, Will and Grace, Charmed, House, NCIS, CSI, Supergirl, and Modern Family. He was the TV director in the movie Mars Attacks, a photographer in Spider-Man 3, and played Dracula in the Monster High movies. So. I would like to share that Colonel was voiced by Al Rodrigo. He has been in episodes of Days of Our Lives, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Martin, the Nanny, 90210, Charmed, Jag, and CSI Miami. He had a small role as a Latino man at the club in The Birdcage, and also has done voice work for a bunch of stuff, including Despicable Me, Grand Theft Auto, and Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Olivia was played by Jessica Harmon. She was Heather in Hollow Man 2, Jenny in a movie called Chupacabra versus the Alamo, and has been in episodes of Arrow, Wayward Pines, The Whispers, and Magicians, but was best known to me from her role as Dale Bozzio in iZombie.
Yeah, it was a great cast.
It was a super fun episode. I really enjoyed it. There was a couple spots that were sad for me because of our recent change in our pack in our house. But overall, I very much enjoyed it and thought it was super fun.
Yeah, I mean, Dean makes a great dog. I think they did the mind melding in a fun way and didn't go too I feel like they could have gone farther, but I think the restraint was good.
Yeah, the poodle almost pushed it over the line, but the rest was really good.
Yeah, and there wasn't any leg humping, although I would have been okay with him humping Crowley's leg. That would have been good. Jensen Ackles can hump a lot of people, and I'd be okay with watching it. But so Jensen Ackles humping is not the name of any of my sex tapes, unfortunately.
No.
But yeah, it was. I just think that it was so well written. It was really funny. And Snake Guy was gross, but it was kind of it was a good easy villain. Right. We didn't have to get a lot of his back. And he had cancer and we didn't have sympathy for him. We were just kind of just die with your cancer because you ate a cat. Don't eat cats. My public service motto.
Don't eat cats.
Don't eat cats unless you're Elf.
Aw.
All right.
I know someone that has their email signature is the picture and there's his Alf and it makes me laugh. Anyways.
All right. I think on that note, don't eat cats, and we're going to sign off. Cheers, jerk.
See y'all soon. Cheers, bitch.
Devil's Trap Podcast is a Don't Get It production. Meow.
Devil's Trap Podcast is part of the Ship It Studios Podcast Network. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Devil's Trap Podcast, Twitter at Devil's Trap Pod, or you can email us at devilstrap@devilstrappodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave reviews, and share with all your friends. We're at all your favorite podcast outlets and at devilstrappodcast.com. I'm Babe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.